You admire Tim. Go on, reel off a couple.
So many.
Go on, give us some.
My favourite songwriter at the moment is Taylor Swift, and I know that that's like saying my favourite band is the Beatles. But I mean, as bizarrely, even though I think she's she's got to be like the biggest artist in the world, sort of in statistics. I don't know, but she's up there.
Absolutely, one of them really
but I
record
also
breaking.
think I still think somehow she's overrated. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Underrated.
She's here tonight. You think she's? No, I agree actually, because I think Beyonce is really overrated and Taylor not rated enough, even though she is really successful.
Well,
it doesn't matter what I think, It doesn't matter.
It matters to me, man.
Does it really? Oh, wow.
No, but I think, I could go on.
Yeah, give us a couple more. Go on. Who do you?
Well,
from any era, because.
Well,
just a couple.
Paul Simon, I think, is one of the greatest kind of crafters of songs, and a real inspiration in terms of the way he applies himself to music. And in terms of, he's like 80. Is he?
I think he's 80. I think he was 80 this year.
But he's still making.
Yes, he released an album about a month ago, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, but not just he's not just churning out albums. He's searching for new ideas, and I still think his all the music he's made in the last few years has been incredible and innovative and interesting, and you want to hear what he's done next. I think that's pretty incredible, possibly unique.
Yes.
So he's another one, yeah. Bruce Springsteen, I love. The Smiths were a massive influence on Keane, especially say the first album. Not a fan.
Hello, Chris. No, Chris, my dear friend Chris over at the back, he loves the Smiths. Anyway, I don't. Okay, my last question is something that many in the audience would really like to know.
Okay.
So if you can give us a world exclusive, that would be quite good. What are Keane doing next? You could do an album very soon, or are you going to play live or anything like that?
Which part of that shall I answer first?
Any order.
In terms of playing live, I can't really say.
Next summer, or they're going to do a short tour. I'm guessing next year.
I'm under strict instructions. But in terms of new music, I feel actually really hopeful about. I think there's a great sort of. That's actually quite a big subject in its own right. But I feel like there's there's a really good energy in the band at the moment, and we're sort of. I think the kind of COVID era has given us a lot of time to think about sort of how much we love doing it and whether we love doing it, and I think certainly for me, I've got a very strong feeling of kind of evolve or die, and just wanting to change the way we do things a little bit in terms of collaboration and and the creative process. Sorry, it's
it's okay.
Question, but my point is that I'm hopeful that is leading somewhere really cool.
Do you think when you say a kind of change creatively, perhaps a sort of a different sound in some way you would like to do if you do something else?
Possibly. I guess I'm thinking more about do you know what it is? One of my favourite things to happen over the last few years was the Get Back documentary. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I saw most of it. It was nearly 2 years ago now, I think, actually. Really interesting. I'm sure quite a lot of you have seen it on Disney Plus. Yeah?
No.
Really?
Highly recommend.
You know, the Beatles and stuff.
I think, I don't know if it's just like, I've always been a big Beatles fan anyway, but I also think being in a band and kind of growing up idolising, not just, listening to their music and thinking, oh, that's amazing, but also sort of idolising their process and studying that a lot and being inspired by it, to actually see that in such a detailed way, was, something I thought I would never see. I think a lot of people felt like, well, you're never going to see the Beatles in the studio writing a song, and then suddenly it's happening there. I found it very emotional. But the thing I really took away from it, and I later found out that Tom had the same experience, was that even through all their ups and downs that they're going through in that period, their collaborative sort of openness when they were together was really, I found, incredibly inspiring. They were so open to each other's ideas, and it didn't matter who came in. If Ringo comes in with a verse of Octopus's Garden, they're not standing there going, it's a song about an octopus. They're like, okay, grab a guitar, let's see what we can make out of this. And and it was the same for all of them. They're helping each other out, and a very sort of open thing. And I started to feel that we had kind of lost that in the band in Keane. This is, for some reason, without noticing it, as can happen in life and relationships. And so I found myself really pining for that way of collaborating in a sort of open way.
So that documentary really inspired you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic, isn't it? Really.
My point being that, the way, I don't know if this may be too much detail, in which case I apologise, but the way it's tended to work over the last 20 years is that I basically write a song, do a demo, play 50 demos to the other guys at various points, and they'll be like, I like that one, don't like that one, and then we sort of turn it into something, and eventually it becomes a Keane song. But that's quite different from like, everyone can bring in an idea, and then you work it all up, and you sort of, the whole album is a kind of melange of ideas from everyone, and you don't even know whose idea anything was by the end of it. And I think that is something that's lovely about collaboration.
Well, it is. I was about to say, and that's a fantastic point. It is so collaborative, like what Jenny does as well. People think of a costume designer, they do it all, but no. The supervisor and the team and the people who make the costumes and all that, and like being in a band as well. It's just, you all work so closely together, really, don't you? It's just. My last question: would you like to do stuff specifically for film or maybe TV, music-wise, like write a theme tune, or like Dennis Warsman for the older people here? You know what I mean? To kind of, would you like to do something on a film score, or to write something especially for that, or?
Yeah, I would. I think there's definitely a part of me that is inclined towards quite sort of dreamy, soundscapey stuff. So yeah, I would, if the opportunity ever comes along. But it's I really admire people who are good at doing that. So hopefully someday, when I'm, when I get good at what I do, I'll have a chance.
Actually, I thought of another question. As being in a top band, you've done probably mainly with the other band members and maybe on your own, some of them, but so many interviews over the years. Lots of it is plugging stuff like records and whatever. And you might have done some events like this, but the publicity thing and must have been a bit at first quite exciting. Oh, we got this great record, we're going to tell people about it. But then, so the question really is, how do you generally feel about talking about your work, maybe on TV, radio, or even with an audience like this?
I love talking to people about music, and I really enjoy doing this sort of thing. Not saying I'm any good at it, I don't know. But what I'm not good at is like TV stuff, where they're you sort of go on like, I don't know, morning TV show.
Yeah, like the CBS one we showed a clip from earlier.
Well, yeah, I mean, although that actually was that was a relatively in-depth, I mean, relatively for like TV world, at least there was some stuff about music and so on, and it's when you sort of have to go on and, I don't know, they want sort of banter about, I don't know, their morning tea or something, I don't know, it's totally like, just waffle that I like, I'm too much for sort of, I like to be able to think about my answers, as you might have noticed, for at least 5 or 10 minutes.
No, that's good.
Before I get to the point. And in TV, they're like, great, that's really interesting. We're going to cut to the weather report now. And it's like, I haven't even got the first word out. So I try and get Richard to do those, because he's really good at this. I just hide. I hide, even if they want me to, I hide in the loo until it's too late.
Yeah, that's what I do. Now we're going to see if there might not be any, because I've asked so many good ones. See if there are any questions from anyone in the audience for Tim. A tiny Tim. Any questions for tiny Tim?